Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am already not talking right, but it's fine. Today's story time is the time that I got hired for a job and I worked for a day and they never paid me, and it's crazy, and I'm probably gonna get real heated in this story, but it's fine. And so yeah, we're just gonna get started with the story. So I'm an average white girl, super basic, and I go tanning. So I thought it would be a good job to work at a tanning salon. And this was probably close to the end of my senior year. And my Natalie was actually, my friend Natalie was buying a tanning package. And so we went in there, we're like, hey, are you guys hiring? And just stuff like that. And the girl was super nice, and I'm sick if you can't tell. So yeah, she was super nice and gave us applications, and we filled it out, and we were vibing with this girl, we were instant friends, you know? And she was like, yeah, I really like you guys seem so cool. I'm like, yeah. And she was like, I'll tell the manager that I pre-interviewed you guys and stuff like that. I'm like, sick, yes. So yeah, that happened. And then you know, how you call a few days after and you're like, oh hey, this is so and so, I'm just checking up on my application, did you look at it? And then so I don't think the manager was there when I called. I remembered them calling me because I saved their number in my phone, just so if they did call, I would pick it up, because if I see a random number, I'm not picking it up, I'm just gonna be honest. So yeah, I saved their number, and I had a bunch of palm tree emojis and sun. So when I saw it on my phone, I was like, oh my god, they're calling me. So yeah, she called, and she just scheduled an interview with me. It was on a Saturday, I think, at noon or whenever it was. And I remember getting a text from Natalie. She was like, did they call you? And I was like, yes. And Natalie's interview was scheduled 30 minutes after mine. So I was like, dude, that's so sick. So we drove together, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in. And so I did. I waited in the chair, and then I saw another girl come out. So I was like, oh, they're doing hella interviews today, hella. So I saw this girl come out, and so I go in there. It's my turn for the interview, and I'm like, oh. So I thought I did so good in this interview, because I was practicing before I went in, and they just asked me all the questions that I was practicing, oh, why do you want to work here, what work experience do you have, just easy questions like that. So I was like, dude, I'm doing so good in this interview, and there were actually two girls interviewing me. One of them was a manager, and the other one wasn't, but she was just a normal employee, but she worked there for a really long time. And there was actually a second manager, but she wasn't there interviewing me, and I didn't know that. Anyway, so during the interview, we're done, they're like, oh, we really like you, you are so good, we're gonna tell the other manager about you, and you pretty much got the job. They didn't say, oh, you have the job, but they were like, we really like you, we're gonna tell her about you, and we're gonna give you a call and hook this up. So I'm like, sick. And they're like, okay, so since we're done with the interview, we're just gonna give you a tour of the place. And I was like, oh, okay. And I knew they didn't give the other girl that, because I saw her legit walk out of the room and leave, and then they called me in, you know. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so good. So yeah, they give me a tour, and so they're like, here's the level 1 beds, here's level 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, okay. So little story about me, when I buy the tanning package, or when I went there, I bought level 3. It's right in the middle, and level 3 is still $60 a month. That's a lot of money, but obviously it gets better as you go up in the levels. So I didn't want level 1 or 2. I just got a level 3 just to be a little bit up there. Okay, moving on. So yeah, they said like they really liked me and stuff. And then as they were giving me like a tour of the place, Natalie was sitting in the chair because like her interview was next, and so like I went out and sat in the car while Natalie had her interview. And Natalie came out, she was like, they didn't give me a tour. And I was like, yeah, like they said they really liked me, like I don't know. And so I was like, oh, I think like they're gonna pick me, you know. And no offense, Natalie, I know she's gonna watch this, but I didn't feel bad that they liked me over Natalie, because Natalie already had another job. She was working at Taco Bell, and I didn't have a job, so I was like, I need this, you know. So yeah, I thought like I had it, you know. And then like a few days went by and like they didn't call me, and I was like, should I call them, you know? Like I think it had been like a week or something by the time I did call them. So I did call and I was like, hey, like I had an interview, like I was just wondering like if you picked anyone to like, if you like ended up hiring anyone, just like let me know, whatever. And they were like, oh no, we haven't hired anyone yet, but like the other manager, she should be making calls this week and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, like still waiting on my call, you know. And I still did not hear anything back from them, like, and it had probably been like a whole another week, maybe even 2, I don't know. So I don't know if I called back another time or not. I think I did, and they like wrote my name down, but like none of the managers were there. So yeah, I was like, okay, like whatever. I didn't get the job. They like ended up not even hiring anyone, because like I went in there like every day, because like I still had a tanning package there, and I didn't see like any new girls. So I was like, okay, they didn't hire anyone, like thanks for wasting my time. But then all of a sudden after school I go and, you know, just going to tan, like my daily routine. And so I'm done tanning, I walk out, I'm like super sweaty hot, I'm just like, oh, like I just can't wait to get in my car, drive home. But then I see like this girl that, like as I'm walking out, she's behind the counter and she's older, and I have never seen her there before. And I just like glanced at her as I was walking out. I was like, that's probably the other manager. And she literally makes like direct eye contact with me, and she like attacks me like a freaking eagle, you know? She literally comes over to me and she's like, you're Tiara, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, so you interviewed with us, right? And I was like, yeah. So like in my head I'm like, oh, does she like actually want to hire me now? Like, cool. And she was like, I really need you to work tonight. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, this girl, let's just say her name's Megan, whatever, she worked there. She was like, yeah, Megan is by herself tonight and she hurt her back the other day. She can't clean any of the beds or anything. So I just, like, if you would want to, like, just help her out tonight and just clean the beds and that's it. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And she was like, I'll just give you like a free month of tanning, level 5, like for free. I'll just add that to your account. And yeah, just help her out tonight. This will be good training for when you start here. I swear to God on my life, she said that. This is good training for you for when you start. I'm like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, yo, like I think I'm hired and just for helping out. Like I got this free tanning package. Like that is so sick. So yeah, I worked that night. Like it was probably like 4 o'clock because I went there right after school. And I worked till close with that girl. And let me tell you, working at a tanning salon is way harder than it looks, because like, yeah, like you're cleaning like the bottom bed, that's easy. It's cleaning like the top part that's hard. So I'm like bending backwards like this, and like my back was hurting so bad, and I was still in my school uniform, so I was like in like pants, and like I was sweating so bad because the tanning beds are high, and I'm like walking around the whole thing, like doing all these beds, and I was like sweating and my back was hurting. It was literally like not a fun night. But I was like, okay, like I'll get used to this like over time. Like my back will get used to this, and like I won't wear my school uniform to work, obviously. So I was like, okay, it's just like tonight, like you're fine, get over it. Like you're about to get this job. And so yeah, like I worked that night, and like we close up, like we were like close to close, and like it was like dead. So She was like, yeah, just like sweep the floor and then like we'll lock the doors and we'll leave. I'm like, sick. So I literally swept the entire place and like emptied all the trash cans and stuff. And she was like, oh, thank you so much for helping me tonight. Like, you're such an angel. I'm pretty sure that's the word she said. She was like, you're such an angel, and yeah, like, just thank you for helping me tonight. I'm like, you're so welcome. Like, I'll be waiting for that call for like my schedule because I'm working here now. And I literally got nothing back. They never said a word to me after that. I like was going there like to finish like my tanning package that I had paid for, the level 3 one. And after that, I didn't even go back. I didn't even use the level 5 tanning package that they gave me just because, like, I don't know, like, I was just so angry. Like, I was like, you guys are dirty. Like, like, I was just so angry. I didn't want to see them. I just wanted to punch them all in the face. And yeah, so I never used the free tanning package that I got, and I worked for them and didn't get paid for it, and it was the hardest night of work in my life because I was sweating and I was legit dead, like I was a corpse. So yeah, that's the story about my crappy tanning salon job experience. I worked there for a day and I didn't get paid, and I technically didn't even get hired. I don't even know what you would call this, but yeah, that's my story. So I hope you guys like that, and if you did, just give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, like, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that big red button, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye. I can't reach it.